Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle one of the most common mistakes I see in English. It's actually a pretty small change, but trust me, getting this right will make you sound so much more fluent, like instantly. Let's dive into mastering those tricky yes-no questions.
All right, let's just jump right in with a classic example. You see, do you are happy all the time. Now, why is that wrong? Well, it's kind of like you're using two tools for the same job. You've got are, the verb to be, and you've got the helper do. In English, you only need one. The right way, are you happy, just flips the first two words. We're about to break down exactly when and why you do this.
And here's the best part. You don't have to go memorize a giant textbook of grammar rules. Nope. To nail this every single time, you really just need to remember 3 simple keys. That's it, just 3. So let's walk through them together.
Okay, let's start with our first key. This one is all about the verb to be. So we're talking about questions about what something is, descriptions, feelings, where someone is. Think back to that first example. Are you happy? That's a feeling, right? So it's going to use this first rule.
And the rule here is so simple. You just swap the position of the subject and the verb. That's it. No extra words, nothing complicated, just a simple flip.
And here you can see that simple swap in action. The statement, she is a teacher, becomes the question, is she a teacher? Just by flipping those first 2 words. It's exactly the same for the others. They are hungry turns into, are they hungry? The word order just flips, and that's literally all it takes.
Okay, let's move on to our second key, and this one is a biggie. This covers pretty much all the other verbs, the action verbs. Words like work, play, live, or eat. Basically, any verb that describes someone doing something.
So, for these action verbs, we can't just swap the words around. It doesn't work. Instead, we need a special helper word right at the very beginning to signal, hey, a question's coming. And those helpers are do, does, or did.
So let's take a statement in the present tense, like this one. She lives in Spain. Now, I really want you to focus on that S at the end of the verb lives. It's there because the subject is she. That little letter is about to do something really important.
And here's the magic trick. When we add the helper word does to the front, it kind of grabs that S from the main verb. So lives goes back to just live. The helper does all the heavy lifting for the grammar. Honestly, this is one of the most important rules you can remember.
And this just breaks it down for the present tense. We use do for I, you, we, and they. And we use does, the one with the S, for he, she, and it. And notice how the main verbs, speak and like, are in their simple base form in the questions.
So, what about the past? Well, it actually gets even easier. We just use the helper did for everybody. It doesn't matter if the subject is you or she or they, it's always did. And just like with does, the main verb always goes back to its base form. So she called becomes did she call?
All right, we're on to our third and final key. This is for sentences that already have a special helper verb in them. These are often called modal verbs. We're talking about words like can for ability or will for the future.
And the rule here should look pretty familiar. Yep, it's exactly like type 1. You just find that special verb like will or can and move it right to the front. You don't need to add do or does because, well, the helper's already there. It's that easy. So, now you can ask the questions perfectly. But what about answering them? Here's a little pro tip that's going to help you answer them in a much more natural, fluent way. This is how you really sound like a native speaker.
So here's the thing. Answering with just yes or no, it's not wrong grammatically. But in a real conversation, it can sometimes sound a little short, maybe even a bit impatient. The good news is, there's a much better way.
To sound way more natural, you just need to listen for the very first word of the question. That helper verb or special verb, that's your key. You're just going to reuse it in your short answer.
You can see the pattern, right? It's super simple. Your answer just echoes the first word of the question. If the question starts with do, you answer with do or don't. If it starts with can, you answer with can or can't. You're just repeating that helper verb. It's a small trick that makes a huge difference in how natural you sound. And there you have it, the 3 keys to unlock any yes-no question in English. So, before you go, take a look at this sentence on the screen. She is a doctor. Which key do you need? Go on, try saying the question out loud. Start playing around with these rules today, and I promise you'll feel your confidence shoot right up.